Thorns, WNBA Portland to build first $150 million dual sport women's training center. The Portland Thorns and the WNBA's Portland expansion team already share an owner. Next year, they will share the first ever dual sports performance center too. RAJ Sports, the sports investment platform managed by the Bhathal family, which owns both teams, unveiled plans on Thursday for a $150 million campus that will transform a 12-acre facility into the first ever performance center shared by NWSL and WNBA teams. The project will repurpose an existing suburban office complex previously occupied by Nike near Portland, building an innovative training facility that provides the best possible environment for our athletes across professional soccer and professional basketball will be a game changer for women's sports. Bhathal, whose vision helped shape the center's plans, said in a statement announcing the plans. The privately financed center will be built in Hillsborough, or about 20 miles west of Portland, and is expected to be finished by 2026. The project comes a little over 1 year after the Bhathal family, who are also investors in the NBA's Sacramento Kings, completed its $63 million acquisition of the Thorns. In September, the family was awarded the WNBA's 15th franchise, which has sold more than 8,000 season tickets before announcing its name. The ownership group plans for the Dual Performance Center to feature a 63,000 square foot training facility, a 17,000 square foot practice gym, 2 full-size basketball courts, 2 full-size soccer pitches, and an outdoor training zone. It will also feature a 5,000 square foot strength training facility equipped with a yoga and Pilates room and an elite training core program, among other athletic offerings. While training and performance areas will be shared, each team will have access to its own entry to the center and locker rooms. The team's dining rooms will also be shared, featuring a full-time chef and nutritionist. They will also share rooms dedicated to players' families and private player parking. We have a lot of WNBA teams building facilities. We have a lot of the NWSL building facilities. But this is the only place where it's going to be the first of its kind for women's professional athletes. And it's a place where they can call home. The Thorns' former general manager Karina LeBlanc, now RAJ Sports Executive Vice President of Strategic Growth Development, told The Athletic on Wednesday. The former Canadian professional, who was part of the Thorns' inaugural champion-winning roster in 2013, called the communal spaces the teams will share revolutionary. It will feel like an Olympic village, she said. LeBlanc recalled being in the athletes' village when she represented Canada at the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. She remembered sharing lunch with other professional athletes, like tennis stars Serena and Venus Williams. You sit down, and the level of where the conversation starts is just at a beautiful place, LeBlanc said. We're gonna have our athletes be able to not only hang out with their teammates and eat meals and exchange bread, but they're going to have the opportunity to sit with other elite athletes and have those conversations. That, she expressed, will help foster an elite environment among their athletes. The campus aims to be the global epicenter of women's sports. It will be built in multiple phases and cost more than $150 million. The first phase, announced Thursday, includes developing the $75 million 12-acre facility designed by Populous, a global architecture and design firm. Sherry Privatera, the firm's director of women's professional sports, said the facility was designed with female athletes in mind. Players also offered their input, allowing the firm to cater to their specific needs. We design a lot of training facilities, but we're always trying to learn what's happening. Like, what's the innovative thinking behind training? Privatera told The Athletic. Only % of the performance. Data out there around athletes are female-centered. And you think about the opportunity, they have to have two teams to be able to share information and data so that we can figure out what the nuances of female training are. The facility will also feature elevated privacy and safety features, whether that be through creating transition areas, in changing rooms and showers for ultimate player privacy. There will be areas designed so that only players can access them. It was also important for the facility's weight room to be big enough to accommodate an entire team, Privatera said, acknowledging how NWSL clubs she has worked for may not already have access to this. Player safety was at the forefront of conversation in the NWSL this week as 3 U.S. attorneys general announced a historic settlement with the NWSL that requires the league to pay players $5 million in restitution funds following the league's abuse scandal. The Portland Center will also have an under-18 facility, as required to accommodate underage players. The Thorns were the first in the league to introduce the concept when they allowed a 13-year-old Olivia Moultrie to begin training with them in 2019. Other features of the facility include recovery lounges, hyperbaric therapy, active recovery pools, and red light therapy to maximize player performance and recovery. Think about how successful female athletes have been without all this support, Privatera said. What's going to happen now with all the support they can get? LeBlanc transitioned from Thorns' general manager to her new role with RAJ Sports after the 2024 season. The move, and Bhathal's decision to invest in both NWSL and WNBA teams, offered her the chance to elevate women's sports on a much larger scale, she said. My first love was basketball because I saw Cheryl Swoops, a woman who looks like me, on TV at the Olympics, and I'm like, that's it, LeBlanc said. Where we are now, NWSL teams. They're selling out stadiums, there's media rights, there's so many big things happening. A dual performance training facility is another one of those big things. But LeBlanc stresses that this project is about much more. This is not just another facility for women's sports, LeBlanc said. This is a game-changing beginning of what's possible. And the exciting thing is, now that you have it, now we have to continue to level that up. And that's what's happening in women's sports now. Every single day, something's happening to advance it. And we just feel so honored and privileged that we get to start that new conversation.